I saw this play happen, I almost jumped over Rabel and out the window into the stands. I was so excited. Hey, it's Dave Wyman from Wyman Bob. Time for Football 101. Seahawks get a huge win on the road, 31-17 against Pittsburgh. Great win on the road, especially. But what we're going to talk about today, a new phrase you might hear in Seattle over the years, you got Ouzts'd. This is a play that Robbie Ouzts made. He's a kid they drafted in the 5th round, coming out of Alabama, and he's 6'3", 275 pounds. So not a lot of fullbacks in the league right now, but a couple of them over the history of the Seahawk franchise that I remember. One is John L. Williams. So John L. took a screen pass for 75 yards and a touchdown, which helped us beat the Raiders down in Los Angeles at the time. We beat them 43-37, not great defense that I was a part of there, but yeah, John L. just had soft hands, and he was kind of a different, kind of like more of a finesse type of fullback. And then, of course, Max Strong, one of the great guys of all time in Seahawk history, and now he's working with the NFL. And Max, just a great guy. He helps guys out with benefits and things like that. 14 years in the league, and he was more of like a battering ram. Mac will hate this because he's one of my favorite people, but he'll hate that I'm telling this story. But when he came to the Seahawks, he was an undrafted free agent, and his suitcase was a black, hefty garbage bag. So that's a fullback for you right there. I mean, you got to love that old school stuff. And that's what Robbie Ouzts is all about. The other thing is, you look around the league, there's not a lot. Kyle Juszczyk, that's a guy that in his 12-year career has only run for like 235 yards or something like that. So they use him in all kinds of different ways, which kind of sounds like the trajectory of where Ouzts is going. It's early for him, but still. And then, you know, you look around the league at Patrick Ricard. He's kind of a glorified defensive lineman, basically, but he plays fullback, but he doesn't have the kind of skill set that Robbie Ouzts does. So I love that about Robbie Ouzts. He's very old school. I guess he has a button on his phone, and that's, I guess, outdated. I was looking at my phone going, doesn't everybody have a button on their phone? I guess not. Anyway, he's an old school guy, and I just about jumped out of the booth when the broadcasting booth when this play happened, because I thought I saw him knock down both inside linebackers, but I wasn't quite sure. And then when I got on the team plane and got the film, I was like, oh my gosh, look at this guy. So let's check it out. They're lined up in just a heavy formation. And you know, you've got 2 tight ends over here, and then you've got your fullback lined up in the backfield, K9 obviously behind him. So this is a very old school formation. This is kind of what you used to see with Max Strong. And here's the 2 inside backers. Talk a little bit about these guys. This guy was a 4th or 5th rounder. He was a 1st rounder. Patrick Queen, this is Peyton Wilson. Both really good. I mean, I think they're one of the best tandems as far as inside backers go in the league. And you know, both are big guys. They're 230, 240 pounds. So here comes Robbie Ouzts right here, and he's going to get the block on Peyton Wilson there. And then you see that he ends up falling into Patrick Queen. So he basically got a twofer, or what we're going to call, he got Ouzts'd. And I expect to see a lot more of this. But here's the thing about having a fullback. You're going to make the rest of the league sort of adjust, because a lot of the inside backers, now these 2 guys are pretty big guys. You know, they're like 235, 240, but there's a lot of inside linebackers that are 220, 215, and they're built to make plays on the perimeter and get into, you know, pass coverage. And now all of a sudden, you know, that's going to be a mismatch if the Seahawks decide to come out, line up with 2 tight ends and a fullback. So I think that'll be really interesting, sort of the cat and mouse game there, and whether or not that actually affects how people start selecting their defensive players. But I just love that Mike Macdonald wants to go downhill. And like I said, when I saw this play happen, I almost jumped over Rabel and out the window into the stands. I was so excited. So love seeing that from Robbie Ouzts, and he's having a great rookie year so far.